On this edition of the CSXT Video News, Operation Andrew helps employees pick up the pieces in South Florida. Plus, a challenge to Carl Taylor from Waycross and Nellie Sue. And getting the dirt out. The Tide team takes on the Dirty Half Dozen. These stories and more on this edition of the CSXT Video News, October 1992. Hi, and welcome to October's edition of the CSXT Video News. I'm Renee Brust. We're here today in South Florida where Operation Andrew is in full swing. In a moment, we'll see what CSXT is doing to help the effort to rebuild. But first, let's take a look at a program that is helping craftsmen turn out a more reliable locomotive. That program is Diesel Storm. It's been a little over 2 years since Diesel Storm has been on the job, and in that time, locomotive reliability has improved. What's making Diesel Storm succeed is teamwork and communication between DST in Jacksonville and craftsmen in the shops.
We're going to do quality repairs, and that means when a locomotive comes in our shop, we want 100% of the work done, and we want it done completely and correctly. And we depend on Diesel Storm to help maintain that focus.
What we try to do is make sure that we provide the analysis and the data to the shops and gives the craftsman an opportunity to do the job right the first time.
In Cumberland, a combined effort from the infant mortality team and the Diesel Storm team is focusing this shop on a goal, 92 in 92.
But I would estimate that our locomotives are probably staying out 15 to 20 days longer than what they did a year ago. We work with DST in that a lot of times they have material or information that we might not have collected.
Cumberland. Donnie Peters of Cumberland.
Every morning, Diesel Storm teams throughout the system get on a conference call with the Jacksonville DST. They exchange information.
I let them know what Diesel Storm units are in the shop, the classifications, what we could project that day, what we're working on, how many we've out-shopped in the previous 24 hours, and that way we can keep a better track on the locomotives.
For their part, DST in Jacksonville offers technical advice that gives craftsmen an edge when troubleshooting a Diesel Storm unit.
They're able to sit down and look at the history of the unit on the computer screen and know exactly all the failures that's happened to it in the past days since the last queue, and that way they're more aware of just which engines are problem engines.
Identifying and fixing a DST unit is only part of the process. Diesel Storm in Jacksonville also must clear a DST locomotive when it's ready to be out-shopped.
And if they feel that we need to do something else, then they will tell us to hold it, to follow up on their suggestions on fixing the locomotive. We follow that locomotive daily, and if it happens to break down, then we direct it back to the shop to get it corrected right.
Here at Cumberland, we have the employees that's dedicated. We have the employees that wants to make the locomotives run 92 days, and I have total confidence that we can accomplish that here safely.
Diesel Storm in Jacksonville, working with craftsmen in the shops, a combination that is producing a more reliable locomotive.
What I would like to see is the continued effort from the Diesel Storm unit in Jacksonville and the shops in general, and I'd like for them to work as closely as what David Petway and I do now to get the job done.
In the Wild West, only the toughest survive. And here at CSXT, we're gunning for one mean cowboy, Norfolk Southern.
Last fall, Norfolk Southern made a challenge to all railroads to try to keep up with them in safety. My reaction to that was, we're not going to try to keep up, we're going to pass them, we're going to beat them.
To beat this bronking buck, CSXT employees need to keep motivated.
So the challenge that I gave in the mechanical operations was to do just that, to beat Norfolk Southern in safety. And I think our people have really responded to that. But in responding, some of our shops have added their own twist.
There's a legendary story if you have ever heard.
One shop in Waycross has accepted Taylor's challenge and upped the ante by offering a challenge of their own. The challenge was presented with a song.
I said, Nellie, oh Nellie Sue, that's the best bucking you can do.
Here's the deal. If Waycross beats every department at Norfolk Southern in safety, Carl Taylor will ride Nellie Sue.
Well, I believe in safety, but I have to admit, I don't know about that. They reminded me just the other day in a safety teleconference that I better start warming up because they intend to beat Norfolk Southern. So I guess I've got to find a way to fulfill my part of the bargain or get out of town.
The Waycross Challenge is fun, but the goal is serious.
Every person we don't get hurt is one more person can go home at the end of their shift with their fingers and eyes and toes and back intact, and that's the target, and those are the real winners.
When Waycross tops Norfolk Southern, we'll all win, everyone except Nellie Sue.
Oh Nellie Sue, got the best bucking you can do. I said, Nellie, oh Nellie Sue, looks like you're gonna wind up, looks like you're gonna wind up, looks like you're gonna wind up number 2.
Each month, this report is one of the most watched-for papers published by Mechanical Operations. It's called Opportunity for Empty Car Inspection, or the Dirty Half Dozen Report.
The Dirty Half Dozen Report is really a tool in order to ensure that we can reduce our loaded revenue system cars falling into bad order to 0. That is our ultimate goal. What the Dirty Half Dozen Report does is really not to point fingers, but to point out where there are opportunities in order to actually improve on our service to customers.
In the past, the Waycross Car Shop has found themselves in an unfortunate position at the top of the Dirty Half Dozen list.
It's a list that you don't want to be on. We're taking a lot of new steps and changing the way we've done things in order to get off from the Dirty Half Dozen list.
The first step for Waycross is a renewed focus on craftsman training.
We got ongoing training all the time, training them all the aspects of repair, freight car repair the proper way and the proper way to inspect it.
Other goals for improving customer service? Repair the car in place or repair it on the empty cycle. But even with a top-notch inspection, some cars are still being bad ordered after being loaded. The key lies with the customer.
We have determined that about 50% of the cars that fall out on the load fall out because of defective safety appliances. We have also determined that about 60% of those defects are caused by customer damage.
The customer was not aware of what bending a handhold meant, breaking a lock lifter. They were not aware that this could cause derailments, and they were not aware that the FRA governs, our cars.
So Waycross formed a team to help educate the customer about car damage. They call it the TIDE team.
The TIDE team, it stands for Together Eliminate Dirty Equipment. This is a joint venture with the Atlanta division and the Mobile division to work together.
Waycross has actually gone out with a so-called TIDE team to customers and have actually given them appropriate training.
Craftsmen make several visits to the customer and determine what kind of help is needed. One customer that has seen real success with the Waycross TIDE team is Feldspar in Edgar, Florida.
We were breaking steps, we're bending them, pushing them over, bending these in, and those are the reasons primarily that our cars were being stopped in Waycross, as I understand.
In fact, before the TIDE team began to work with Feldspar, this customer's cars fell out on average 21 times per month.
We never really realized the frequency with which those cars were being stopped. And when that information was given to us, it really opened our eyes.
The Tide team actually shows the customer proper methods for protecting the cars, with videos, booklets, and hands-on instructions.
We showed them how to hook their cable up, move the cars down. They've been shoving on the ends of the cars, bending it up. We showed them how to pull from the side with a cable, and it's practically eliminated all our damage.
In fact, in July, only 5 cars from Feldspar were bad ordered. That's a reduction of 76%.
And we feel very good about that, and we intend to keep it down there. Our ideal thing is to have 0 cars bad ordered in transit.
Tide is to get the dirt out and get the dirty equipment off our system, and really the thing is it's helping the customer. That's the bottom line.
Is it going to help you as well?
Oh, it's going to help us all. It's going to get us off of that dirty half-dozen list before it's over with.
Repairing in place, repairing on the empty cycle, consistent craftsman training, and the Tide team. 4 reasons why Waycross may beat the dirty half-dozen.
I know we can do it. It's a challenge, and we've got to do it. I mean, that's the bottom line. We've got to continue to apply ourselves, be innovative in our approaches, and our future is dependent upon it.
October Shop Talk, Operation Breakthrough.
Well, I have several reactions to it. One, the concept is fantastic. It's a great idea. Long overdue, I believe. I think it's an idea headed in the right direction for improving quality. It will give the talented craftsmen, the ones out there that have that little extra talent to do that better job, it'll give them opportunity to shine. Makes me feel like I'm a little more in control. It's human nature to want to be in control. Young ideas or new ideas always run into that unforeseen obstacle. It's up to us as we go along to identify the obstacle and to overcome it. Operation Breakthrough is just a phenomenal idea. I think it could go a long way.
August 17th, Monday, 4 a.m. Hurricane Andrew blasts through South Florida with winds up to 175 miles an hour. And on Tuesday, in the light of day, the destruction is unbelievable. Tell me what your first reaction was.
Actually, it was just, oh my God, you know? I mean, you look around and then you say, where do I start? What do I do?
The Hialeah shop is located just 25 miles north of Homestead, where the brunt of the storm hit. Just hours after it was over, CSXT employees began making their way back to the shop. There was damage to the facility, but it was minimal.
This whole roof area, as you can see all this plywood, there's numerous sheets. This area was open to the air. There was tree branches, water, pieces of every kind of debris you can imagine all inside the building, covering everything.
In addition to losing part of one roof, the shop also lost power. CSXT crews immediately got to work cleaning up.
So everybody's been pitching in and doing what they can. Everybody has problems, but yet you still see this effort to help.
The Hialeah shop is almost back to normal, although the power still cuts on and off. But for some employees, like Ed Alderman, electricity is a luxury. Every night, Ed collects bags of ice and heads home.
Well, this is where I live. It's pretty well messed up. As you see, we don't have many trees left, but we're lucky that the houses were pretty decently made. They're an older house, and we don't have much structure damage on the street. Come right in.
Ed, his wife Carol, and 2 daughters hid in this house during Hurricane Andrew. Now it's time to pick up the pieces, and CSXT is helping.
There's no electric, you can't drink the water, you have to boil the water. And like I say, CSX gave us the water.
Oh, that's great.
And all the guys came over, they come over after work and bring me water because I couldn't leave. They gave me a 300 or 3,500 watt generator for lights, which has ran our refrigerator and freezer for us. No cost, just let me have it, and when I get power back or when I can you know, get back to normal, I'll just bring it back to them.
How helpful has the generator been?
Oh, it saves your life.
Ed also got a week off with pay.
I mean, without that week off, I couldn't have come to work anyway. They helped me out a lot, and all the neighbors have said how wonderful CSX has been. It's nice. I don't have any worries about my job, where the other people, instead of worrying about your house, they have to worry about if they can work.
Because their house can be saved, the aldermen say they were lucky. Lucky compared to Danny Valdez, a friend and co-worker at CSXT. The Valdez family lives here in Homestead. Their house has been declared unsafe.
Just to the right up here is my daughter's room. That was one of the first rooms that the window blew out. Everybody was pretty calm. My wife was a little nervous. And at the beginning, I wasn't that nervous, but as when I thought it was the worst it could get, that's when it got worse. Everything's gone. Yeah, everything.
But Danny Valdez has friends like Ed Alderman, and friends at CSXT.
We've had people that have actually given up personal leave days, given up earned holidays, so that the people that were off could be paid.
11 families from Hialeah lost all or part of their homes, and for them, supplies are not enough. So CSXT is offering a loan to help rebuild.
They gave us a $3,000 no-interest loan for emergency repairs to the house, which we gladly accepted and we're going to be using.
Mechanical operations employees system-wide are also doing their part, donating over $30,000 for Operation Andrew. Employee donations are matched by CSXT.
I've been with the company 23 years, and I was a little surprised. You know, sometimes people say, you know, the company doesn't think about you, but they do. They really, you know, they have their mind on you.